initially it means fear, scared, frightened, terrified, don't know what to do, not sure where to go, not sure how to cope with it, don't want to cope with it. It's quite dark, really, to be honest. When you come to the realisation, I think, you know, commonly people think that, you know, you get to 5 years old and you realise that you're a girl, and then but it doesn't always work like that. It's not always that story. I think for me, it was always there, but I never knew that, you know, I was a woman. I never knew that that's what it meant. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't understand what it meant. I didn't know why, when I was 4 and 5, I wanted to, you know, dress in female clothes or mess around and stuff like that. I didn't know why that was. I didn't know what it meant. I just knew that you shouldn't be doing it. So that's kind of like how it feels. They shouldn't be doing it, so you don't talk about it, you try not to do it, you don't think about it, and you just leave it to one side. And that's where it sits within your life, to one side over here. And it throughout your life it comes to you, you know, the thoughts and feelings and behaviours from when you were younger and you were a teenager and then into your 20s and 30s, it comes back to you. And all you feel is shame and disgust and guilt and embarrassment, and that's the only feeling that you had about it. I didn't know it meant I was transgender. I didn't know what transgender was. I didn't know what that was about. I knew, you know, what transsexuals were when I used to call them transsexuals. You have a sex change, that sort of language in the 80s and 90s, but I didn't think that was anything to do with me. Even though I had these thoughts and behaviours, I didn't connect the two. I was busy trying to ignore this behaviour and trying to be a man, you know, and be a man, be a father, be a son, be a man, you know. And that's what I spent my life doing, trying to be, you know, a good man, trying to, you know. And I think really that, you know, throughout my life, there's been a lot of stress and anxiety, a lot of terrible anxiety. And as I got older, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And no matter how I tried to deal with it, in good ways, you know, like I'd go to counselling, I'd go to CBT, I'd go to the doctors, I'd take medication, and sometimes in bad ways by, you know, drinking and, you know, partying too much and overworking, working too much, you know, just keep going, you know, keep going. And I think in the end, you know, you get to a point when it all crashes in. I took an active decision while I was just kind of not in the best of health, and I was kind of lying down, sitting down, I couldn't, you know, I was barely moving for weeks. And I think it was the first time in my life that I actually did consciously say, right, what is this issue over here? What is this all about? What is this that keeps constantly coming into my mind, you know, through the years? I could go 6, 7 years without thinking about, you know, that situation, but it had all come back. So I thought, what is it? So I actively sat there and, you know, got on the internet and looked into it. And the more I looked into it, the more I was like, holy shit. Oh, yeah, I think I'm transgender. I think I am, you know. I think everything's pointing in that direction. But you're so uncertain still. You want to keep finding evidence. So I was basically on my phone, I don't know, just 18 hours a day for weeks. Do you know what I mean? My missus was over there, my partner. She's probably thinking, you know, barely spoken, barely acknowledged me. You know, I was in this, it went on for about 2 or 3 months this. I was searching for all the evidence. Is it true? Is it not true? What's everyone saying? Where do I fit into this? I don't know. And I, you know, I went for a bit of counselling. I went to a counsellor actually, and I said, look, I've got this terrible anxiety I've had for years. I've got, you know, I think I've got long COVID because I was so exhausted, and I'd had COVID. I thought, I've got long COVID, and, you know, I don't think I'm a man. So she said, right, well, I think we should start with, you don't think you're a man, because that's probably the most important thing, you know, for an individual to know, you know, who are you, what your identity is. So, you know, I'm sure if we can resolve this, the other issues, you know, might well. So that was like a light bulb moment to me. It was like, right, like, you know, I've got to investigate this. And then when I kind of realised I was, you know, I kind of had to sort of accept, yes, I am trans. I had to tell my partner, so, and then that was the process. Then that was the first major step in my life, I suppose, to say to my partner, you know, I wrote her a letter, I gave her a letter, sat there, and yeah, that was like, yeah, you know, I thought she was going to leave. Why wouldn't I? Everything on the internet says no one stays. You know, if you read the internet, it'll be like everyone leaves you. You know, your partner will leave you. Your parents won't like you. Your siblings won't like you. Your friends won't like you. And you're like, this isn't good. Everyone's going to leave. But you know, in the end, you've got to do what's right for you. In the end, but you know, whether I'm lucky or you know, I probably am very lucky that my partner hasn't left me yet. my mum, you know, still loves me. My son still loves me. You know, friends are okay. Not everybody knows yet, but I've had some negativity, but it's not anything that's important to me. You know, if you know what I mean. I can go, right, okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I understand you don't understand. I don't know if I understand it all the time. A lot of the time I don't understand myself. A lot of the time I find myself going, what's going on here? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right, you know, that you have doubt, you know. You have a lot of doubt, actually, a hell of a lot of doubt, because your mind is telling you that, yeah, you don't want to do this. Why would you want to do this? It's like, it's you know, it's hard. You know, why would you want to do it? Your brain's trying to, like, I think your brain tries to sort of shut it down. Listen, stop doing this. Go back to Tim. Get back on, you know, you just need a rest. You're probably a bit burnt out, you know. But no, no, there's no going back now. My childhood early, I'd forgotten all about it, to be honest with you. You know, it's like 40 odd. I'm like, that's. But when I looked into what this was all about, I went right back to there, and the memories were all there, and it's like, right, you know, I know that about 4 years old, I just remember I was like running around in this little swimsuit, I think, you know, like just, you're 4, you're like, you know, you don't think anything, you just do, don't you? You know, this is, wow. I remember my mum sort of coming up saying, right, stop messing about. It's what, but my memory of it is it wasn't, you know, it wasn't aggressive, it wasn't loud, it wasn't violent, it wasn't anything. It was just, stop messing around, this nonsense or whatever, you know, that was it. But then my memories are like 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd sneak into my mum's room without her trying to hear. Sometimes she'd go, what are you doing in my room? I'd go, trying to sneak back out of the room. You know, because it's one of those old-fashioned things. You don't go in your parents' bedroom, you know, that sort of thing. You know, it's old school. But then other times I sneak in. And I just looking in the cupboards or whatever, you know, whatever clothes she's got and stuff. And, yeah, and, you know, at that age, there was no thoughts about what I was doing it and what it was about. But one thing I do know from looking into it is I was sneaking about. So, you know, I was hiding it. And I had to kind of, when I went through realising all this, was like, yeah, I was hiding it. I've been hiding it that long. And, you know, even at that age of 5, you're hiding it because you've either what my mum said, or society in general, or school, whatever went on, it tells you that you can't be like this, you can't do this. Boys don't do this, boys do this. You know, so because my brother died 16 years ago, and my dad died about 3-4 years ago, so they never knew, and I have dwelled on that quite a bit. You know, what would they have said? And the thing is, my dad, I know my dad, because people are very much like, well, you know, your dad would have, and he wasn't a man, he wasn't a sort of a man. He's a very intelligent, intellectual man. I know that he would have I know that he would have supported me. I know he would. He might not have understood it, but he believed in fairness and equality, and therefore it's for everyone, and he wouldn't have had a problem with it. He might have took the mickey out of me a bit, and stuff like that, but, you know, and my own son does a little bit, you know, takes the mickey, have a laugh, you know. When people that's that close to you, you know, you can have that sort of relationship, can't you? And yeah, I think that they would have been okay, you know, they would have stood by me like. So all the person who's left is my mum, and my mum, you know, it's difficult to understand, it's difficult for her to digest, but she's there. I see her every week, speak to her every day, I'll text her every day. You know, we'll get there. We'll get there. So I'm very lucky, you know, very, very, very lucky. And she's very religious. You know, my mum's Catholic faith is really strong, and she goes to church every week, and it's very, very important to her. But she still has the ability to go, well, God loves everyone. So, you know, you know, and that's a really conservative religious person. Not conservative political, conservative sort of conservative thoughts and environment, and she you know, she just played it like that. God loves everyone. You're all right. Nice one. You should go and you should tell the Catholic Church that. That'd be great. Or maybe don't put that on, because my mum would kill me. I turned up and I went, I've got all this stuff to deal with. And she's like, what stuff? Just this stuff, this gender stuff. You know, I couldn't even talk about it at the first, this gender stuff. And, you know, and in the end, you know, you work through it, you know, and then you kind of go, I think I'm a trans woman. You know, so and you can verbalise it, but it's just, you start off, it's stuff, you know, this stuff. I don't really want to talk about it, but and then it helps you. Then it just helps you build some understanding of yourself and some strength. And then I moved on to taking hormones. Then now I phoned my doctors up and asked them to do a referral to the gender clinic. Great, massive waiting list. 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is. So again, you know, I'm so lucky to have, you know, money available, that I approached a private provider, and I started taking a small amount of hormones, estrogen, female hormones, every day. Just a small amount. They call it microdosing. It's a tiny amount, because it's kind of like, one, you don't, you know, I'm older, 45, 46, I'm 46 now, but you know, it's a big impact on your body, so you want to take it slow, but also you don't want changes too quick. You want to sort of feel your way through it. And it you know, I kind of had in my mind that it kind of gives you the, and I've moved on now, I'm taking more hormones now, and now I take a blocker as well, that sort of try and block your testosterone. And you know, it's the biggest validation really, you know, when you're thinking, you're like, is this really true? Have I got it wrong? And you're just like, no, I haven't. No, in fact, you kind of think in your mind, it's like, yeah, all that testosterone was making me very anxious, very poorly. It's like that's kind of what was, because now you get a different calm. It brings it's hard to explain. It settles in, you know, and kind of starts to flow with you, and you kind of start to go, oh, I feel calm. I feel some calm, like a centre of me. I like it. I feel actually like, oh, it might be all right being alive. I think I got to the point before where it was like, this anxiety is so bad that none of the day is happy. Anything's happy. Every second of the day is like, just, you're trying to cope with this anxiety, and it's like it's all in you. You know, it's weird. It's like it's all in you. It's like it's eating you up, and now it's dissipating. It's not gone away. I don't think anxiety will ever go away when you've kind of had to deal with it that much. But now it dissipates. I can kind of control it in some way. I'm just, you know, I just take a deep breath and go, oh, and just think, oh yeah, that's me. That's what's happening. That's what the change is. That's better. That's more me. Feel, I don't know, like a person, like it's worthwhile existing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think, you know, you might get some enjoyment out of life. You might, you know, do some things you wouldn't usually have done, like sitting here. I know Tim wouldn't sit here. I'm not sure what Tim would have to tell you, but Tim would not have sat here because he'd have been like, holy shit. You know, I did a counselling course. I had to sit in front of a room full of people and practice counselling. Tim never have done that. You know, and I got to the end of the course and thought, yeah, Tim would never have done that. Ashlea did that, you know, and that's who I am now. I've got less fear, less anxieties. I'm on the right path, you know, I know that I'm on the right path. I know I'm trans. I know what would I say to someone? I mean, if it was a younger person, you know, really young, then, you know, please be true to yourself. You know, please be true to yourself. If you know, or you're questioning who you are, do that questioning. Find out who you are. Do it early. Find out who you are early. Don't live through decades of that. You know, that. What, you know, nothingness sometimes. Nothing. You know, it's just pain. You know, it's not. That's not how to live a life. Don't do it. And I know it's easier said than done. You know, your parents might not agree. You know, your friends might not agree. But in some way or other, no matter how scary it is, you know, find who you are, try and accept who you are, and live true to who you are, because it's not nice the other way. Don't put yourself through that. You know, just be yourself. And to older people like us lot who were like us trans people that are popping up like, you know, older and have been repressing it for years, or just realising, or have known all these years and had to repress it. That's even harder. That's real, you know, restraint, which is awful. Again, it's just, you know, there's no other way in the end. You have to be yourself, otherwise you will never feel happiness. And you know, you have to be yourself. You know.
Once you realize that all the shit you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.
Right.
As soon as it came out, I was like,
you know what? You got to laugh about like this. That makes you happy, laughter, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. It's good for you.
Definitely is.
And actually, that is the whole point of transition, isn't it? Happiness.
Yeah, happiness. It's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.